let's dive into a little secret from the world of professional floor care. There's this one shortcut that promises amazing looking floors with a lot less work. But is it actually a time saver, or is it just some really clever marketing? We're going to find out.
I mean, who isn't, right? In any job, the goal is to work smarter, not harder. You want the best possible results with the least amount of effort. And when it comes to floor maintenance, there's this one promise that, well, it just sounds almost too good to be true.
And it all starts with this one idea, using what they call a high solids floor wax. It's this concept that's been pushed for years as the ultimate way to save time.
You've probably seen claims just like this one, and the pitch, you gotta admit, it's pretty good. Use a more concentrated wax. You won't have to apply as many coats, and you'll get the job done faster. Sounds perfect, right?
And look, on the surface, it makes total sense. If you can get that same beautiful protective finish on the floor with, say, 4 coats instead of 6, well, you're saving a ton of time and labor. It seems like a complete no-brainer.
But this is where experience really starts to matter. We've got Jerry Bauer, a senior consultant who's been in the cleaning industry for over 3 decades, and he argues that this common wisdom might actually be leading us completely down the wrong path.
So to really understand why, we need to get on the same page. What in the world are we even talking about? What exactly are these solids they put in floor wax? It's actually a really simple concept. That percentage of solids is just how much of the actual tough protective finish is in the bottle versus the liquid part, like water, that's just there to help you spread it around. So once all that liquid evaporates, the solids are what's left behind, doing the hard work of protecting your floor. Okay, now we get to the heart of the issue. Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world, because this is exactly where that high solids promise starts to fall apart. So here's the real-world difference. That high solids wax, it's thick, it's goopy, it's just difficult to work with. Imagine trying to spread cold molasses on a floor. Yeah, it's kind of like that. It just doesn't level out well. But a lower solids wax, on the other hand, flows smoothly, kind of like warm honey. It creates this beautiful, thin, even layer that levels itself out, which gives you a much, much better final result. Which, of course, brings us right back to our original question. If this high solid stuff is a pain to apply and gives you a finish that isn't even that great, are those fewer coats actually saving you any time at all? Well, let's just do the math. To get what we'll call 100% solids coverage, you might need 5 coats of a 20% solids wax. Okay, but each of those thick, heavy coats takes way longer to dry. Now, with a 16% solids wax, yeah, you might need an extra coat, but each one of those thin layers dries so much faster. So what's the result? The total job time can actually be shorter, because any time you thought you were saving on coats is just completely lost waiting for them to dry. So, if the high solids shortcut isn't a shortcut at all, what's the right way to do it? What are the real pros, the ones who care about quality and true efficiency, actually do? Well, according to the industry experts, this is the sweet spot, a solids percentage right in this range, 16 to 18%. This apparently gives you the absolute perfect balance of easy application, quick drying, and amazing leveling for a truly superior finish. And, this is the key mindset shift. The objective should never be to just slap on the fewest coats you can get away with. The real goal, the pro's goal, is to build a perfectly smooth, level, and durable foundation that's going to protect that floor and look absolutely incredible for a long, long time. So the right technique is really all about patience. You apply a thin, even coat, you let it dry completely, and then you do it again. Building up all these multiple thin layers creates a finish that's just so much more level, so much more durable, and cleaner looking than a few thick, uneven coats could ever hope to be. But the benefit doesn't just stop there with the initial application. This method actually sets you up for much more efficient and way more cost-effective maintenance down the road. Because let's be real, at the end of the day, a full strip and re-wax is the absolute most time-consuming, labor-intensive, and expensive part of floor care. A properly built foundation lets you avoid that massive job for as long as possible. So instead of having to strip all the way down to the bare floor every time, you can do what's called a scrub and recoat. You basically just deep clean the top layers and then apply 1 or 2 fresh coats to bring back that shine. You can do this 2, maybe even 3 times before a full strip is even on the table. Think of the incredible amount of time and money that saves over the life of the floor. And really, that's what it all comes down to. Chasing that shortcut of high solids wax, that's working harder.
you're fighting with a difficult product, you get a worse result, and it needs more intense work later. But building a proper foundation with the lower solids wax, now that is working smarter. So that brings us to one last question. This whole idea of questioning the so-called efficiencies, it applies everywhere. It makes you wonder what shortcuts in your world might actually be long cuts in disguise. Thanks for tuning in.